Hey everyone, welcome to the new session Data Mining with Python. But before start the session, let me just tell that if I'm audible, then please put a yes to the live chat for that we can start the session. And also in the meantime, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with the brilliant idea of Great Learning Academy. So let me went you through all this Great Learning Academy. So, as we all know, Great Learning Academy is a free platform. You will get all the courses for free, and there are few key points I just want to mention that if you do these courses, then you can actually get a free certificate, right? So now you will ask me what are the courses you will get over here. So if you look over here, all the trending technologies like artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, IT software, cloud computing, everything you will get in this particular website. Now let me just show you. If you just click on data science, there are multiple courses you will get in the domain of data science, right, which will actually you need to start your career with data science. That is also free of cost. Now I will say that who actually make these courses are made made by the prestigious university and the professions, right? They actually they actually design these courses. And also if you just do these courses, you will get the free of cost content and the video. And also after complete your course, you can claim your certificate as well. And if you actually add this to your LinkedIn or your resume, that will always keep you a added value to your LinkedIn and your resume as well, right? So don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to enroll for these courses. You will get the link for these particular courses. So now as we are going to talk about data mining with Python, so in this particular session we are going to talk about data mining, but we will talk about machine learning as well. So after this session, if you feel like just to understand machine learning algorithm in more detailed way, then why don't you go for doing this basics of machine learning. So for this course, basically you will get all the idea about machine learning. Then why don't you go for doing the supervised learning, and then supervised learning tree based model, right? And then unsupervised model. If you don't know what is supervised and supervised learning, we will talk about that in this session, right? So let's get started with the session. Right. Yeah, it is for free. There is nothing you need to actually pay for this particular course. So, yes, Shabnam, if you want to ask something, yes, always welcome. And please don't forget to just ask your question in the live chat. I will try to answer all your questions. If I'm not able to answer all of them in this particular session, obviously I will get back to you after the session. Then don't forget to put those put those your doubts in the comment. We will always love to help you out, right? ठीक है. Fine. So now let's start with the agenda. So let's have a look at what are the agenda we have for today's session. Right? Any doubt, guys, for Great Learning Academy? Now you will ask me why I'm talking about Great Learning, because basically it will help you to start your journey with data science, or if you want to start with cloud computing, any software related to IT domain, right? It will always help you to start with. And guys, if you really like the video, don't forget to like this video. And if you feel like you want to get the update from Great Learning Academy, please subscribe Great Learning, because we are going to come up with a very new content, and that will, I think, that will always help you out. Okay. Okay, Shabnam, your name is Adilla. Okay. Got it. So if you have any question, guys, don't forget to put that in the comment section, right? So now what we are going to do, we are going to look at the agenda. So what agenda do we have? First, we are going to talk about what is data. So how many of you have idea about what is data? Maybe you will think of data is very normal. We know data, but trust me, there are lots of things we need to know about data. I will share with you that what are the things you need to know about data. Then we will have a look at why do we need data mining? Do we really need to understand this technique? How it's going to help us to start our career with data science or artificial intelligence, you can say, right? From there, we will have a look at the life cycle of data mining. What are the steps you have to follow if you need to do a data mining process? After that, we will have a look at what is machine learning. As we are talking about, we will talk about few things in machine learning in this particular session. right? So yeah, this is something you can learn a very basics in this particular session, but if you want to do this for the advanced part, why don't you check out great learning courses that will always help you to start your career and also start your journey with machine learning, right? Then now we will have a look at the types of machine learning. So as I have talked about supervised, unsupervised, maybe if you don't have understanding of machine learning, you will think what she is talking about. But trust me, we have types of machine learning. And when actually I'm going to reveal what is the types of machine learning, you will understand what actually I was talking about. Then we will see a project on data mining, right? What do you feel? Is it a interesting session for you guys? If you feel interesting, then please let me know in the live chat, right? And again, if you have any doubt, don't forget to ask that in the live chat. I will always love to help you on that, right? Okay, first we are going to talk about what is data. What do you think? Some of you are saying they are raw facts and figures, right? King Slayer, yeah, you are right. Okay, Vicky is saying they are nothing but facts. Yes. Any other responses from you guys? From what is data? What do you think? Right. So let's have a look at what is data. Suppose data is a collection of facts or informations. Yes, data is nothing but it's a collection of facts, the facts you want to understand, and the information always is going to provide you. Now we will see. Okay, now we will see what are the data we are going to talk about. Suppose you have 13.4 and 287, but you don't know what is this data all about. It's just a figure to you, right? Suppose you have 0 to 1, this binary values, you again don't know where to use this, right? Now, again, we have a name. Someone is saying, my name is Sam, right? So in this case, you can understand there is a name information you have. Now you have a plus b whole square. What is a plus b whole square? It's a formula. So related to any facts or raw data or information is known as data, right? So now we will have a look at how we are actually going to use this data. If you don't have a proper understanding of data, how can you do a data mining, right? So in that, keep that in our mind, we actually need to understand what we have in the data in the past days and what we have in the recent days. Now we will say, why do we need to understand data? Because did you ever think data is the new oil? Now you will ask me, why data is the new oil? Because when we actually go for data, these data are giving us lots of information. The new trending domain, as we all most keen to understand, to learn, that is data science or artificial intelligence or deep learning, right? Anything we talked about, we know this is data scientist, as a data analyst, a cool job roles we have. But did you ever think where they actually worked on? This data scientist, what they actually what's their work to do? Yes, in this case, we actually need to work with data. There is nothing but you only have data, right? And you understand data, you need to make a information out of it. And that's when you actually very comfortable with the data. If you look at the data and if you can say, okay, data is something like this and I can make a information out of it, that time you can understand you are actually becoming a real data analyst or data scientist, right? So this is something about data you have to understand. Guys, I can see your questions. Let me answer a few of them. Data is something through which we get information, right, Rohit? A collection of raw facts, right? Right. So now we will have a look at what we have in the past days in the data. Now you will ask me, why do we need to look at the past days data? Yes, before maybe if you talk about little past, little before that time, this data scientist, data analyst or artificial intelligence was there, but not that popular. Now you will ask me why it was not that popular. Because the main thing about that, artificial intelligence needs a lots of data, and that time we didn't have a lot of data. But how now we are having a lots of data? This is the main key, or the main funda you can say we will talk about. Now, if we talk about the past days, we have data. Obviously, if you have a company, you will obviously have your data. But the data in the past days were small, right? How? Because everything was so manual. There is nothing, that time people are not used to in the online world, right? Okay, so in this case what actually we do, we that time the data was in a small format because it was manual, right? So data was really small, and when someone is actually putting effort to add the data, obviously data will be in a structured format. So the data was small, data was structured, so obviously data was able to manageable, right? You can manage the data easily with few tools. But what we have in recent days. Now you will ask me, why do we need to talk about recent days? Obviously, as we have talked about the past days, and we also know artificial intelligence was not used that much in that time. But recent days, we are actually moving towards artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. But how? Where from where actually we are generating this data? Recent days, right. Recent days we have a online platforms. Suppose we are quite used to with Mintra, then Zomato, Swiggy, Ola, Uber. If we talk about anything, right, you just need to click away, right? You just need to click, your food will be at your doorstep. If you just click your cab, the cab will be at your doorstep, right? All is these things are becoming so easy these days. But did you ever think the company is getting your data? Yes, this company is actually storing your data. They try to understand your behavior by your data. Suppose you are actually right. Suppose you are actually ordering your food. Maybe you will ask me why the company is going to store my data what actually I'm going to eat, or I'm going somewhere. Why the company try to understand where I'm going? Yes, because they try to understand what type of food you want to have, what is your likings, what are the frequent orders you have made, and according to that they can actually put you in a cluster, so they can actually give the recommendation. As we all know, recommendation system is one of the most used case for all the companies. So I hope you all know, whenever you are going to buy something, suppose in Amazon or suppose in Flipkart or Zomato, they give you recommendation, maybe you will like this, right? How they do that? Randomly they cannot say something that you will like. Suppose you went to buy some like shoes, and they are showing you some utensils. That's not meaningful, right? But how they are going to do that? They are going to do that basically using your past data, right? So as they are using your past data, they can understand what are the things can be your likings, right? So now as you are using their data, they are trying to take your data, right? And you can understand by every millisecond how many people are currently using this particular applications, and how these companies are generating the data. As these companies are generating the data with few lots of customers, and they have this online platform, they can directly store those data. But these data are not in a small way, they are now in a huge way. As you have a huge amount of data, when you have a huge amount of data and no one is manually putting the effort to store the data, obviously those data are in unstructured or semi structured. So what is unstructured or semi structured? You have data, but they are not in a proper way, right? They are in a very messy way, right? And after that, what is happening, that's not manageable with traditional methods, because your traditional methods doesn't have idea about what can be a huge amount of data and what is a unstructured data, right? So this is something where data mining comes into the picture, right? And this is why we can say, why do we need data mining? We will talk about why do we need data mining, what are the things we can do with data mining. So I will answer few of your question in the meantime, right? Melvin is asking, do you need strong math skills? No, not strong math skills, but you need to have an idea of linear algebra and how can you get started with, the basics of line formula, right? And these are the basic things about maths you need to know, right? Okay, any other questions? Okay, math skills are very important for data analyst. Yes, it is important, but the basics of maths and basics of stats, right? What is the free of great learning app? So Shabnam, as I have actually explained, the free of Great Learning is nothing but you will get lots of courses from Great Learning Academy, and also you can do these courses for free and you can claim your certificate, right? This is a free platform where actually you can start your career with this particular domain, not this data science. There are lots of other options also you will get, right? Shabnam, yes, you said you have a question. Please go on. Okay, and Dave Kumar is saying, I'm a BAR student. I want to learn web development. Is it worthy? Again, guys, whenever someone asks me, I'm from BA background or I'm a school student or I don't have any idea of the programming. So, something is, if you want to learn something, that doesn't matter from where background you are coming from. If you can solve the company's problem, they will always welcome you. So, whatever you want to learn, keep learning, right? Okay. Yamini is asking, ma'am, why Python is necessary and not just MS Excel for data mining and data analysis? So, for data mining and data analysis, why don't you learn Python and Excel both? Because as we have talked about, if you know Python, you know how to do the data mining. If you know Excel, basically you should know how to manage your data. So the basic parts, you need to have an idea about how to store the data in Excel, how to actually make a filter of your data, and then also you need to know how can you get the unique result from your, like maybe you have duplicate value. From that duplicate value, you need to understand how you can actually get the unique values. So the basic parts of Excel you have to know, being a data analyst or a data scientist, right, for doing data mining as well. I hope you got the answer, Yamini. Guys, don't spam in the live chat. This is my request to you, because if you spam, I cannot answer all of your questions. Okay, Vaibhav, it's not theory. It's basically mixture of theory and practical both, because in the last we will do a project on credit card fraud analysis. Is PhD in data science worth it? Why don't a PhD in data science will not be worth it? If you have done PhD in data science, you will get to know lots of things about data science, right? Okay, now as I have already answered all of your questions, I think you don't have any other questions. If you do have, please do let us know in the live chat. I will try to answer all of your questions. And if you really like the video, please guys don't forget to like it and also subscribe Great Learning. So now we will have a look at why do we need data mining. The first reason, data mining is used to discover patterns and relationship in data. Now I will give you an example what is actually I want to mean by data mining is used to discover patterns. Now you will say, okay, the data I have, but what type of pattern I can get from the data? The main pattern you will get from the data, for that you need to have a example for it. Suppose, as I said, we are going to do a credit card fraud analysis. Now you have data of transaction. How can you understand a data has this particular transaction is a fraud transaction? As we already said that we are going towards online walls, and as we are going to online walls, we are quite making online transactions, because if we do the online transaction, we get lots of um, we get lots of free of lots of offers we get, and we get lots of a way to do new shopping. There are lots of things we get when we do actually online shopping. Rather, I prefer to go for online shopping and online transaction as well. This is hassle free as well. So now as we are going towards online world, there is a problem. The hacker are also there, right? They try to hack their they try to hack your password, they try to hack your card details and try to take money from you. But how your machine will be good enough to understand this particular transaction can be a fraud transaction? In this case, what we need to do, we actually can use data mining technique, and then we can use machine learning. So now this data mining will help you to understand basically what problem you have in your data. Suppose there is a transaction, a person is doing transaction between 10,000 to 50,000. Now suddenly a person is going to do a transaction for 10 lakhs, right? So there will be a there is a possibility this transaction is not done by that person, right? That time this data mining will try to give you a pattern for that particular person. Hey, can you look at this person transaction in the past. This person has done transaction between 10,000 to 15,000. Now suddenly he is doing a 10 lakh transaction. Do you think it's really possible? Maybe it's possible, but it's impossible. It is not also, maybe it's a fraud transaction. So yes, discovering patterns and relationship from the data by data mining, it's a one of the best way to do that, right? I can see some of the question. Shabnam, please don't spam in the live chat. Okay, Ishang is asking if a person knows Python, it's necessary to learn Excel. So, guys, you cannot, this Python and Excel, you can say it's complements each other, right? Now, if you say how, basically in the raw data you will get in Excel, or you will get in some other format .csv file, right? So if you know how to handle the basics of Excel, then you can actually read your Excel file to Python as well using pandas, that we will talk later. But yeah, if you know the basics of Python and the basics of Excel, it will always help you to be in your career as a data analyst or a data scientist. I think you got your answer, Ishank. Okay. Jayavardhan is asking, ma'am, how to practice this free courses after session. Okay, so basically, if you try to practice this free courses after session, for that you have to go to Great Learning Academy. And if you go to Great Learning Academy, from there you can actually subscribe for this particular live session, or not subscribe, enroll for this particular live session. I will show you in the later in the session how can you get all the materials from Great Learning Academy. And you can see our moderator is sending the link for Great Learning Academy, where you will get all the data set and also presentation and also the code file, right? That will not be a problem for you guys. Rohit is asking, ma'am, go to for FANG and FANG like companies, which domains is better? Is this AI, ML, or through competitive programming and DS algo? So if you want to go for some, if you want to go for some good renowned company, they will always try to understand how good are you with data structure algo, because if you know data structure in a very well manner, you can solve any problem. So you can go for AI, ML also, but don't forget to have a strong skills on data structure. No, Amisha, we do not have any squeeze after this lesson. After this session, basically, after this, you can actually go to Great Learning Academy. And if you do the courses, you have to solve few quizzes, and then only you will get the certificate over there. Right? Okay, I give a few answers and I will answer your questions later as well. So let's have a look at the second reason why do we need data mining. Basically, data mining help you to make better business decision. Obviously, when you have a data, when you know how to start with data, you know your pattern of data, you can make a business decision. Now you will ask me, how can I make a business decision, right? Making a business decision is basically, suppose you are data scientist of Zomato. Now Zomato is saying, I have data. Can you see my data? This is my data. Now what I want, please can you give me a proper idea how can I make my customers more happy? How can I actually make my sales more in a better way in the future days, right? How to do that? So being a data scientist or a data analyst, what you need to do, you have to look into the data. You have to analyze those data and you have to make a report out of it. When you are going to make a report out of it, you will get, maybe there are few customers who loves to have dessert and there are few customers who loves to have some spicy food. For those clustered customer, you can say, who loves to have spicy food, why don't you give a separate coupon for them? If I am not wrong, you guys also get few, exclusive offer for you guys, right? From these companies. How they do that? They actually do the analysis on your data, not on your data only, the same customers like you. And according to that, they actually assign those coupons to you, right? So yes, this is how you can make a better business decision, which will actually help you to make your business in a proper way. Now, the last but not the least, it can help to detect the sales trends. How actually it can help to detect the sales trends. So basically, when you have this, so you have data mining technique, you have data, And now you want to understand the future sales. So obviously when you actually can make your customers happy, and you know how your customers is going to use your particular applications, or maybe your sales are increasing with time, or you have a past data using time series forecasting from machine learning, and there are lots of other ways you can actually predict your future sale. And also you can make your business more in a good structure. It will help you to get your sales in a more better way, right? So data mining is basically going to help you in a lot of way. So these are the basics of data mining which can actually help you to start with, right? Any doubt till so far? Why do we need data mining, and whatever we have covered so far? And guys, if you really like the session, please do hit like it, because it will always motivate us to come up with the new sessions with like this, and also help you to solve your doubts, right? Ma'am, but there is some transactions are reasonable, then how will you define that is a fraud or not? So Ramanan, for that, maybe suppose the transaction is reasonable. So in that case, also there will be few things, like I cannot say a machine can detect properly, but yes, there is something. If someone is going to hack your card, that person cannot going to do a transaction for 5,000, right? They at least going for doing a transaction what your normal range is, right? So basically there are few other ways also to do, to actually try to find it out how this this transaction is going to fraud, or this transaction is a normal transaction, right? So yeah, there are lots of possibility. I cannot say a machine can do a perfect job all the time, but at least it will try to prevent it, right? uh Vikaria is saying, if I'm working on geospatial data, then it is required to learn Python coding in detail. So basically I really don't have idea about this particular part. If you feel like it will help you for your data analysis, for your data mining, why don't you learn Python? Anyway, Python is very easy to start with. uh Kingsley is asking, ma'am, MySQL is also part of a data science. Yes. So when we actually try to understand our data, obviously we try to store our data. But storing our data is not easy. So there are lots of things we will talk about when we actually going through this life cycle of data mining. We will talk about that. But yes, there are few things you have to learn MySQL. MySQL is very easy, and also if you know MySQL, you can do a data analysis. You can make a meaning out of your data analysis. So when we actually, maybe we are going to talk about the theoretical part over here, but suppose you have different Excel file or CSV file. So how can you actually merge them? Suppose somewhere you just want to match your data with that other Excel file. How can you do that? That time you can directly using MySQL, and you can make a join out of it, and you can use that data set to for your data mining, right? So all of them, like Excel or MySQL, or if we talk about Python, they are interconnected to each other when we do this data mining, right? Okay, I think you got your answer. Rohit, you are most welcome. Ramanan is asking, ma'am, is Python data structure and algorithm is necessary for data science? So if I talk about properly that you have to learn data structure, no. There is no hard and fast rule for data science. You need to know data structure. But if you have a basic, again, all the basic, if you know the basics of any concepts, it will always help you to learn a new thing, right? Okay, where to pursue wave full stack web development course? I don't understand your question, Dev Kumar. If you can explain it more better way. So now let's have a look at what's the life cycle of data mining. Let's start with the first one, data acquisition. What is data acquisition? Data acquisition is nothing but the data collection. So where to get the data? When you already have a company, and when we actually know this company is going to provide you the data, why actually you need to go for data, like collection? But the main reason is, the more data you have, the more accurate a prediction you are going to make. So basically when you have lots of data, you can make a lots of prediction from there. You can make lots of hidden patterns from there, and you can understand your data in more better way. So data acquisition is nothing but data collection. After that, when you have your data collected, as we have said, our data is nothing but in a unstructured or a semi-structured way. Why? Because with a very less time, we try to store our data. When we actually store our data, what's happening? We don't bother about the structure of data. So, as our data is very messy right now, what we need to do? We need to go for data pre-processing. Trust me, guys, this is the most difficult part you will face for data mining, because when you actually go for data pre-processing, you have to take care of everything manually and also very carefully, because if you miss anything, your data will become again messy, right? So these are the thing you have to take care when we go for data mining. So this is the case, the data pre-processing or data cleaning, the most consuming, time consuming part, right? After that, when you have done this data pre-processing, when you know, hey, my data is ready and now my data is pricey as well, when your data is in a proper structured way, and also when your data is ready, right, you can go for doing any prediction using machine learning. So what is machine learning? Now you have your data, and you know machine learning, these are nothing but algorithms. As we said, as I have data for credit card analysis and I have the data, a messy data. Now I have done the data pre-processing. Now I know my data is useful to work with machine learning algorithm. So machine learning algorithm helps to build a model from it. So it will use the data to actually build our model. Your model will work for you. We will talk about these things later, but for the time being, you can understand machine learning is nothing but is an algorithm which will actually help you to make your model. Now, as we have done the machine learning, now comes prediction part. What is prediction part? You have trained your model. Now you try to want to give a new data to your model to understand how your model is going to work, right? As you can see that your model is working with the new data perfectly, you can say, hey, my model is ready. Now, actually, I can do the pattern evaluation. What is pattern evaluation? Pattern evaluation is nothing but try to understand how your model is working with the new data, right? And when we say your model is quite working fine with your new data, you can deploy your model. What is deploying your model? Deploying your model is nothing but when we actually go for saying, hey, my model is working fine, and you can, why don't you check out my model for your users as well? So for the time being, you can understand deploying model is someone else also can use your model, right? So this is the whole life cycle of data mining. Any doubt till so far, guys? I will answer your question. And guys, I can see almost 123 people are here in this session and just 71 likes, guys. Please, I just want that if you really like this video, then don't forget to like this particular video and do subscribe Great Learning, because it will always keep motivating us to give you new content and always help you to your doubts, right? Okay, I can see few questions. Okay, here Para is saying, is ML is doing with C and C++? So for using ML, it's recommended to use R or Python, because these are the, like, library, these are the basic language who will actually help you to start with machine learning, right? Ramanan is asking, is that possible to get fresher getting data science? Again, guys, if you are a fresher, if you don't have idea about machine learning, and if you just started your career, if you just started learning machine learning and you know how to solve the question, right, then also the company is going to hire you, because they don't want an experienced person, they want someone who can actually solve their problem, right? So yes, if you are a fresher, then also you can crack a job in data science and machine learning both. Ishank is asking how companies collect data. So suppose you, if you know web development, I don't know how many of you know web development, so they can already take the data from when you are going to give a, the data, like, orders. That time it can directly fetch the data from there using your user ID and everything, right? This is how they can collect the data. Kingslayer is again asking that SQL is a part of data science. Yes, it is also a part of data science. Data science is the umbrella under which you have lots of things to work on, right? Like SQL, you have right? Like you have Python, you have machine learning, data mining, like you need to know Tableau if you want to understand to do that good data visualization. There are lots of things comes under data science, guys, right? Okay, any did I just miss any other questions? uh PhD opportunity or work experience, what actually you want to say by this? I don't understand your question. uh Bashishat, yes, you can talk to Hindi. I will answer in English for sure. Mm, okay, how collect the data? Again, collecting the data using their own websites, their own application, they can directly fetch your data. Okay, for a software development, how relevant or important is DBMS, RDBMS, MySQL? So for software development, guys, for a software developer also, if you have an idea of relational database management system or database management system, and if you talked about MySQL, it will always help you to make your, suppose you are doing data web development and you don't know how to store data, don't you think it's going to like make you yourself confused? So if you know MySQL, it's very easy. And also we do have courses in MySQL. Why don't you check out our courses in Great Learning Academy? Also we have a playlist, a whole playlist for MySQL, and also we have a beginners for MySQL. You can check them out, right? How Hadoop help in data science, Shubhu? Okay, so Hadoop big data is also again how you can manipulate your data. These are the way, there are lots of multiple ways you will get in data science, right? Uh, Shandip is asking, ma'am, with SQL, can we get freelancer job? Yes, why don't you get a freelancer job? There are lots of websites are there for that you can do freelancing. Thanks, Ibrahim. Shubrajit saying something. Sometimes it feels like nothing is sufficient and ultimate in the field of data science. At it first, I learned R, then I had learned Python by demand, and now I have to learn SQL. So Shubrajit, the main thing is you have to know the few things about data science. So maybe it sounds very cool about data science, but trust me, when you start working with data, there are lots of things you have to count basically. So the more thing you know, the more options you have, the more actually you can start your make your things easy, right? Okay, Ramanan is saying, ma'am, where will I get real-time dataset problem? So real-time dataset problem, guys, why don't you check out Kaggle? We do have video about all you need to about Kaggle. So Kaggle is a platform where actually you can go for doing some like participating on their competitions. You can participating and you can also do some cool projects over there. You will get tutorial over there, right? And you can use them to start your to make your profile over there. So some companies used to hire from there as well, right? I will answer few. I just answer most of them. I will answer most like the rest as well. So let's see in the next in the presentation what we have. Now we are going to talk about what is machine learning. So guys, how many of you have idea about machine learning? If you let me know in the live chat quickly, I will wait for you for a few seconds. How many of you know about machine learning? So let me give the answer. How many of you know about machine learning? In the meantime, let me just state what is machine learning. I'm going to use few words that maybe you can see why she's using these words. I will answer you all of your questions and doubts as well, right? So if you don't know machine learning is basically a subset of artificial intelligence, right? So as I think all of you as already know about artificial intelligence, in short it's known as AI. So artificial intelligence that allows the system to automatically learn and improve for experience without being explicitly programmed. Now we will see what actually, right, now we will talk about actually what we want to mean by that. So basically so basically if you just look into here, you have a model that is nothing but your algorithm, right? Now you have this data, so you are going to use algorithm, like the algorithm with the data to train your model, right? When you have training data, you have algorithm and you can actually make your model from there, right? Now, what you do in the next part? Now you use a test data. As we are going to use test data, we are going to test our model how it's going to work. So this is the whole process of machine learning, right? So do not get confused with what is machine learning. In the very basic or layman term, you can understand machine learning is nothing but, right, the machine learning from, using a algorithm with the data to train your model. When you know your model is trained, just to test your model with the new data. So this is the basic or layman term of machine learning, right? Right. Now we will have a look at what is the difference between traditional programming versus machine learning. Guys, I can see lots of questions are coming in. I will answer all of them, and if I miss any one of your question, please do not forget to put that in the comment section. We will love to help you with the your doubts, to clearing your doubts, right? So, guys, any doubt till so far? What is machine learning? The life cycle of data mining we have talked, and also we have talked about few parts of data mining. Any doubt till so far, guys? Nishi is asking, by just knowing SQL, can I get a job? Why don't you get a job by just knowing SQL? SQL is just not just basically. There are lots of things you need to know about SQL. Trust me, for that you will get a job in Oracle as well, because Oracle is all about the SQL, right? So if you know SQL very well, there are lots of companies going to hire you, right? Right. So now we are going to talk about the traditional programming versus machine learning. So what is traditional programming? So if you just look into this particular image, what you can see? You can see you have data, you have program, you have output. Suppose for your data, for your problem, you have make a program and you will get your output. Now, if you are going to talk about machine learning, what we will have? You will have data. You will have problem, but this time you are going to make a model out of it using your algorithm. So you have data, you make a model out of it, and you will get an output. But for the next time, when you are going to use traditional programming, you again need to do the programming, right? But in the case of machine learning, you don't need to do this programming. For the next time, your model will work for you. This is how it's going to reduce the human efforts. It's going to help you in your prediction, and also making your model is the best model, right? So this is how you can say the difference between traditional programming versus machine learning. Now we will have a look at the types of machine learning. What are the types of machine learning we have? So if you look at, we have basically three types of machine learning. We have supervised learning, we have unsupervised learning, and we have reinforcement learning. Now we will talk about what is supervised learning. For that, we also need to look into few things as well, right? So how many of you have idea about supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning? In the meantime, I will answer few of your question. Traditional programming set of rules that a programmer has to specify versus machine learning. Get the data only, computer learns from the data. Yes, Maharshi, you are quite right, right? Not 100%, but yes, this is something the difference you are talking about. This is right. Right? So, guys, I just want to understand from you, how many of you have idea about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning? We will talk about this particular part as well. Right. In the meantime, I will show you few data set. Let me just show you that. I just want to show you one particular data set. Okay. So suppose it's need to be reconnected. Let me just add you over here. Right? Show you one particular data set. For that, you can understand that what actually the supervised learning, unsupervised learning I am talking about. Okay. Um, right. Downloads. I have. Suppose I have a data set of diabetes data set. Now we are basically talking about supervised learning. So what is supervised learning? Let's have a look at that, and then I will show you what actually I want to mean by supervised learning. Right? So what is supervised learning? There will be a supervisor who will actually work as a supervisor for your model. How it's going to work? Yes, Meet, it's right without label data. We will talk about that, Anandi, as well. You will get all your answers, right? Right. So, as we said, supervised learning is basically when you have a label data. What actually want to mean by label data? I will show you what is label data I am actually referring to. Now, if we talked about supervised learning, so what is supervised learning? Supervised learning has a supervisor. What is the supervisor? Is this a real supervisor is going to supervise my model? No, your data will work as a supervisor. How it's going to work as a supervisor, I will show you that. Suppose we have a data set for diabetes. So you can see there is few columns we have. Suppose you have pregnancy, that particular person, how many times that particular person was pregnant. Now, what is the glucose of that particular person? What is the glucose rate basically? What is the blood pressure for that particular person, then skin thickness, then insulin, BMI, data, diabetes pedigree function, what is the age of the person, and lastly it has outcome. What is this outcome stands for? Anandi, don't I saw your question, Anandi. I will answer your questions, right? Right? Okay. So in this case, you can see we have outcome. How this outcome is going to work? So basically, you can see this particular outcome is showing 1 and 0. Suppose this particular person is pregnant for 6 times, glucose has 148, blood pressure is 72, skin thickness is 35, and BMI is 33.6, diabetes pedigree function is 0.627, and age of this particular person is 1. Age of this particular person is 50. I'm so sorry, guys, and outcome is 1. So basically, this outcome is saying whatever the information you have given for that particular person, based on that, I am saying this particular person is diabetic, right? And the second case, if you look, this particular person was pregnant for 1, glucose was 85, and these are the things you can see, outcome is 0. When it says 0, this particular person is not diabetic, right? So you can see this particular column, this particular outcome column is nothing but going to work as a supervisor. How it's going to work as a supervisor? It's going to work as a supervisor by telling you this particular person is diabetic or not, right? So this is known as label data, right? So when you don't have a column like this, like outcome column, that kind you can say your data is not a unlabeled data. It's basically unlabeled data, right? So let's go back to the presentation. So this supervisor is nothing but your label for your data, right? So there is a supervisor you have. Basically, in supervised learning, we teach or train the machine with label data. Obviously, you can understand what is label actually I want to mean by. There is a class, this particular person is diabetic or this particular person is not diabetic, right? Then we test our model with some unknown new sets of data and we will try to predict of the level of that particular data, right? And we try to understand how our model is going to work, right? So this is how our model is working. Now we will see there is a types of supervised learning we have. What is the types of supervised learning? We just understand supervised learning and now you are saying we need to understand the types of supervised learning. Yes, again based on the data set you can actually segregate the supervised learning types. One is regression, one is classification. So what is regression? Prediction of future values from past data, right? Obviously regression is prediction from future values from the past data, but we do this particular types of supervised learning using a continuous type value. So for all the cases of supervised learning, our data will have label part, right? When we have a label, that time what's happening, that time we have the label, one is continuous type, maybe one is categorical type. So when we saw the diabetics one, it was a categorical type. We have two type of data, right? A particular person is diabetic or a particular person is not diabetic, right? So that time you need to use the classification technique. Suppose you have a data set and you have to understand the particular person weight or height. So you can understand weight and height is nothing but what? It's something basically continuous time. Or you try to predict the salary of a person using their experience using machine learning. That time also your salary will be a continuous time, and you have to go for using regression technique, right? So this is how our types of supervised learning works. Now, if we look into unsupervised learning, what is unsupervised learning? Unsupervised learning again is nothing but it's a technique where supervising the model is not required and there will be no supervisor. The model starts working on its own to discover information from the unlabeled data. Now I will explain you how actually it's going to work. So you can see in the image itself, the same type of a person, the model is going to make one cluster. Suppose you have a person who likes to have spicy food. That time what's happening, the model try to understand that particular customers and try to cluster the same type of customer who have ordered the most spicy food for their food, right? They will cluster the same customer. Again, some of the customer is there who loves dessert, they will be in a same cluster. So this is how our supervised learning works, right? Right? So this is pretty much about unsupervised learning and supervised learning. And one more thing we have in unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning classifies those unstructured and unlabeled data into different categories and predicting the class of those data. Yes, it will try to predict the class for their data by itself. Okay. So this is pretty much about supervised and unsupervised learning. Now we will have a look at the applications of data mining. What are the applications we have in data mining? First, credit card fraud analysis. Then we have risk analysis. So there are lots of company try to, like, suppose there are company who gives loans, right? In that case, they try to understand the risk. If some person is actually applying for loan, and they try to understand what is the risk if they are going to give the loan for that particular person, right? Using the data mining again. Now, market basket analysis is also one of the application of data mining. Then we have customer segmentation, as we have talked for so long. Yes, this is also the part of data mining. And yeah, there are lots of actually application you will get in data mining, right? Any doubt, guys, till so far? I can see few. Okay, I can see few questions. I will answer this question. So Anand is asking, what is semi-structured data? Semi-structured data is a data who is not structured properly, and you cannot say it's totally messy, right? So working with semi-structured data, you don't need to put a lot effort when you in compared to when you have a data with a full unstructured data, right? It's kind of semi, right? It's, you cannot say the data is properly structured, and you cannot say this data is unstructured. Thank you, Anandi. And guys, if you have any doubt, please again put that in the comment. I will try to answer your questions. And again, guys, if I just miss any question, I will always answer this question. Don't put, like, please put that in the comment section, right? So someone is asking again, explain the classification data. Okay, so classification data is something, if we go back to the data set, you can see this data has two class, right? You can see this data is also like maybe the predicting this particular person is diabetic or not, right? So if we say this particular person is diabetic, that time it's going to be, the outcome will be 1. And if you say this person is not diabetic, then the right, then the particular outcome will be 0. Okay, so when we talk about 1 and 0, you have a classified data, right? Sorry, you have a categorized data, categorical data, right? When you have a categorical data, you have to go for classification technique, right? I think I have given you answer. Any doubt? Right. Okay, Jishu is asking, ma'am, can you suggest how to study AI, ML, and deep learning in sequential order to get perfect understanding in all this field? So start with Python, then then jump into machine learning, and then you have to go for using some statistical knowledge as well, few basic stats, then machine learning, and then you have to go for deep learning. I hope you got your answer, Jishnu. Vikrant is asking, for fresher, what knowledge of data science is required to get a job? So for fresher, if you want to be in the data science domain, you need to know machine learning, you have to know SQL, Excel, Python, right? These are the basics things you need to know, and obviously basics of linear algebra and basics of statistics. These are the basic things the company is trying to understand from you, that how good knowledge you have on that, right? No, Shaptorshi, it's not that. Deploy means is basically if someone wants to try to use your model and you are deploying it onto the cloud, and someone can directly use your model, right? Um, okay, we should come up with a video of ethical hacking, guys. Okay. Right. So, yeah, we have almost come to the end of the session, guys, and we have talked about data mining. We have talked about what is machine learning, types of machine learning. And, guys, if you really like the video, then don't forget to put the hit comment, right? And also subscribe Great Learning, and always let us know what new thing you guys want to learn from us. Don't forget to put that in the comment section. I will always help you to like solve your doubts. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.